welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar. Then we'll have a look at the UK Met Office run, have a look at the precipitation and temperature over the next 5 days, as we have a cool, unsettled next couple of days before it does look like we'll be heading warmer and drier as we head into the end of this month, i.e. this weekend, and the start of August could be very warm, if not hot. We'll have a look at the mid to long range on the GFS, ECMWF and the Ensembles, and it's looking very likely we go back above average, good few degrees above average at 850 HPA, and we could be seeing heatwave conditions for some. Nothing compared to what we had last week. I'm not expecting anywhere near temperatures anywhere near remotely close to 35 or even 40 degrees, but most likely we will be getting towards the high 20s, maybe low 30s in some areas in the south and the east, as we do have high pressure ridging up from the south and the west with warm air masses wafting up from the near continent. And it does, look likely the south will continue to be very dry over the next few weeks and very warm. There are showers around at the moment, but it's really only giving traces of rain. So, a little bit of a sprinkling at the moment, but nothing significant really at all. So remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. And remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So to start on live radar, you can see there is a smattering of showers across the British Isles at the moment. Really, only a couple of areas really avoiding it, the far east of East Anglia and down into the Republic of Ireland. Hardly seeing any showers at all. Elsewhere, a lot of small, frequent showers, some heavy, and you can see some very heavy, persistent, thundery showers across the northeast of England and south east of Scotland, but elsewhere is mostly scattered light to moderate showers. Again, as I said, there'll be some thundery weather in this, similar to what we have seen over the last couple of days, as that low pressure that has been dominating in the north over the last day or two moves eastwards. You can see all the big precipitation associated with it is now across Scandinavia. But we're going to see a continuing pattern like this, where there's going to be a lot of small, frequent showers around over the next couple of days. So it's not going to be bone dry. For most, it's not going to be bone dry, but it's not going to be particularly wet either. Just a few of these light, maybe moderate showers here or there. So nothing too crazy, but nothing completely dry, as I said. So there will be a lot of showers, and it will be towards average for surface temperatures, but chillier compared to what we have had recently, where we have been pretty much above average for quite a few weeks now. And if we do have a look at those temperatures, you can see it's around 2:30 as I'm recording this. The temperatures are getting towards the low 20s. So quite a few high teens, low 20s is the widespread temperature, peaking maybe 22, 23, 24 degrees in East Anglia, somewhere towards the London area, maybe up towards the northeast as well, just ahead of those heavy thundery showers. Could be getting towards 23, 24, but widely, as I said, 18 to 22. And that's going to be a consistent signal over the next few days. And remember, 18 to 22 degrees is generally the average sort of high for many areas this time of the year. So nothing too much deviation from the normal, but considering how hot it has been recently, it is very much a big cool down before it does look like it may ramp up a little bit as we head into the weekend and the start of August. So do have a look at the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and temperature over the next 5 days. And you can see all those precipitation showers, moving through at the moment, and they'll continue through this afternoon. And as we head into tomorrow, we'll still see quite a few showers around, but nothing too crazy. Again, light showers, maybe some moderate here or there, and plenty of areas seeing dry weather at times, but likely you will catch a shower here or there throughout the day. As we head into Wednesday, it still looks pretty showery for many. You see quite a few showers around, thicker cloud here or there, as we do see low pressure trying to run in off the Atlantic. But we'll find by the end of the week, high pressure actually does start to build in. Could be some persistent rain for a time on Thursday afternoon in the far west, but it's pretty dry elsewhere. And as I said, by Friday, we see low pressure trying to advance from the west, but we do have a ridge of high pressure building in. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday could be very warm, maybe even hot in the south. So looking pretty decent indeed for some, if you'd like that drier or warmer weather. And it does generally look widely pretty dry over the next 5 days, but just quite a few showers, sort of unsettled conditions with a bit of blustery winds around and cooler temperatures compared to what we've had recently. Again, if we do look at these temperatures, as I said, it's very much going to be pretty much the same old over the next few days, of sort of 18 to 22 degrees as the widespread temperature. You can see today those temperatures peaking around 23, 24 degrees, but widely, as I said, 18 to 22. Very similar on Tuesday, again, temperatures peaking perhaps 23, 24 in a few spots, but widely, as I said, 18 to 22, maybe a few areas cooler than that, a few areas slightly warmer than that. And again, Wednesday, very similar conditions, widely 18 to 22, locally 22, 23, 24 is possible. But by Thursday, starting to ramp up a little bit in a few spots, maybe 24, 25, 26, but again, widely 18 to 22. And by Friday, it does start to warm up more widely. Again, those peak temperatures in the south, not rising much above 25, 26, maybe 27 degrees, but more widely towards that 21 to 23 degree range. So slightly warmer, and that's just a sign of things to come. Again, not expecting anything massively hot for the end of the month and start of August, but temperatures back above average, back towards potentially the mid to high 20s, maybe even 30 degrees for some in a few areas. So if we do have a look at the longer range, have a look at the GFS, GEM, ECMWF and the ensembles, you'll be able to see how the pressure charts do develop to give us those sort of conditions. Now I'll run through the GFS run and then we'll have a look at its temperatures from the 6 o'clock run, just so we can see what this would equate to on the surface and why I'm saying it's going to be warm, maybe even hot, maybe even heat wave conditions, but nothing crazy, nothing compared to what we have had recently. So you can see the low pressure running through at the moment, giving us our cooler, unsettled conditions, but high pressure does build into this cooler air mass, and we eventually start to waft up a bit of warmer air for Friday, and you can generally see high pressure is in control through Saturday and Sunday with warmer conditions. And for the start of August, high pressure is still in control, for low pressure tries to run in, and it successfully does it in the north, but generally the south still remains in the higher pressure. A bit of uncertainty whether cooler air does sweep through for the end of next working week, but it is over 10 days away, so there is a lot of uncertainty with that. But beyond that, we stay under high pressure, continue to see warmer air masses, and you can see that by looking at the upper air temperatures, a good 10 to 15 degrees at 850 HPA for most of the time in the south. Again, slightly cooler air masses may be sweeping through the end of next working week for a day or two, but nothing too substantial. If we do have a look at those surface conditions, if we do just sweep to Friday, because that is sort of the extended range of the UKV run, you can see the GFS is widely in the high 20s, maybe touching on 30 degrees on Friday, a couple of degrees above the UKV, so interesting to see if the UKV does upgrade in the longer term. And as we head into Saturday, again, widely temperatures mid-20s, peaking around high 20s, 30 degrees on Saturday. For the last day of July, we see temperatures once again peak around high 20s, low 30s, 31 degrees is very possible there. And for the 1st of August, widely high 20s, 28, 29, 30 degrees. Very hot across France, we're not tapping into that heat, but still very warm. Heading to the 2nd of August, widely mid to high 20s. For Wednesday the 3rd, back down to mid-20s, maybe slightly cooler with that cooler air mass moving in. For Thursday, back towards mid to low 20s. For Friday the 5th, back towards mid-20s, maybe low 20s, maybe high 20s in the far south. And as we head towards the 6th, we start to see slightly warmer air mass build back towards the mid to high 20s. And again, we're getting into the real extended range here. But Sunday the 7th, mid to high 20s, and again for Monday the 8th, high 20s again. So you can see just a consistent signal of mid to high 20s over the next couple of weeks, touching on 30 degrees for a number of days. So it's nothing extreme, but it's very warm, if not slightly hot in a few places, touching on those heat wave thresholds of 25 to 28 degrees, depending on your area or your location, really. So this is why I say it's likely we do go very warm, perhaps hot, we perhaps even get towards heat wave conditions, but it's nothing compared to what we had last week. So if anyone's saying we're seeing a return to that sort of heat, they are lying. We're not going to see anything remotely that hot. There's hardly any ensemble members getting even close to the 20-degree isofer. Most of them are around the low teens, maybe 15 degrees at 850 HPA, which again equates to high 20s, maybe touching on 30 to 32 degrees. So that's the most likely conditions as we head towards the weekend and start of next week. So warmer, perhaps hotter, but continues to be pretty dry as well. So more pleasant sort of heat than what we have had recently, really. If we do have a look at the GEM, see how that does compare. Low pressure in control at the moment. High pressure taking over, and we continue to see that high pressure dominate. Low pressure tries to run in for the last day of July, but it does get pushed away by the higher pressure. And then as we head into next week, we do see that low push through. Again, would mostly be affecting northern and western areas with precipitation, some stronger winds. Will likely spread cooler air through all areas, and right towards the end of the run we are in a bit of a west-northwesterly flow. You look at those upper air temperatures, we are slightly cooler, so as you saw by the GFS run, we'll bring those temperatures probably back towards the low 20s widely, maybe high teens widely, locally maybe 24-25 degrees. So back towards sort of conditions we do have now, but at least between then and now, so the next week, we do look like we have from probably Friday, Saturday onwards until a week on sort of Wednesday, Thursday, it is likely to be around that high 20s, low 30s mark for a good 5 days, maybe more in that period. So yeah, a little sneaky warm hot spell sort of creeping up on us. Not really getting reported on too much, just simply because it's nothing exceptional compared to what we have had recently. If we do have a look at the ECMWF run, see how that does compare for the pressure level. Again, low pressure at the moment, high pressure building in and just really dominating. As we head into next week, low pressure tries to build in, but doesn't make too much progress. And then towards the end of next week, it does start to push in, but it's nowhere near as developed towards Wednesday, the 3rd of August, maybe the 4th of August, and instead will probably just bring us some shower and thundery weather, and will just help aid bring up hotter air from the south. You can see the 50-degree isotherm gets very close there to moving into southern England, which would give temperatures more widely into the low 30s instead of just peaking in a few spots. So, if we do look at the ensembles, you can see this well reflected, cooler than average conditions over the next couple of days, and that's why temperatures towards the surface are around average, maybe slightly below average, slightly above average in a few spots. Does rise on Friday, back above average, and we stay well above average to around the 3rd or 4th of August, where there is a lot more sort of spread. And as I said, most of the ensemble members are around that sort of 12, 13, maybe 14 degree mark at 850 HPA. You can see the operational run there, what we saw, is around maybe slightly above what most of the ensemble members are going for. So it is on the warmer end, but it's not an outlier by any means. It's generally what a lot of the ensemble members are going for, a quite warm, maybe even hot spell. Beyond that, temperatures return back towards average, and we could see a little bit more precipitation there, but it is more than 10 days in the future, so big uncertainty with that. And as I said, there's no hot runs at all, really. Highest ensemble members getting towards 18, maybe 18, 19 degrees at 850 HPA, so low to mid 30s. And again, these are outliers in the next 10 days, and they're very unlikely to verify. Most likely the temperatures will peak perhaps at the low 30s, maybe 31, maybe 32 degrees locally. So nothing exceptionally hot is incoming. I do want to stress that because I don't want anyone to get worried that that oppressive heat is returning at all. Just generally above average, perhaps hitting onto a more traditional heat wave sort of levels. Because remember, heat waves are not always completely these sort of exceptional events that we have had last week. They can just be generally very warm, hot periods, just similar to we can get standard cold spells that are not beast from the east sort of level. It's just the same sort of thing. Just unfortunately, a lot of media nowadays, we do sort of, it's either one extreme or the other. So either normal conditions or extreme heat wave. It's very difficult to convey how it's generally just going to be in the middle, really. It's going to be warm, it's going to be hot, more traditional sort of heat wave conditions. Again, there is some uncertainty with it, so we could end up around back more towards average, but the majority are above average in the mid-range. If we look at the 2 meter temperatures, you can see it's well reflected around low 20s, maybe mid 20s for the peak, before getting towards widely mid 20s, maybe high 20s, maybe even touching on that 30-degree range for the peak as well. And beyond that, we generally do look pretty decent in around that 25-degree mark from a majority of the ensemble members, which at the on the surface, when you include the ensemble members, are normally a degree or two below what we do at the surface in sort of the observable temperatures, just because they are ensemble members Of course, they're a bit lower resolution. We're most likely with mid-20s on these ensemble means, most likely to reach that high 20s, maybe 30 degrees. If we do have a look at the ECMWF Ensembles, look at the Midnight Run, again, very similar. Cool over the next few days, around the 29th, maybe 30th, maybe slightly more delayed than the GFS runs. We go back above average and stay well above average all the way to around the 4th, 5th, 6th of August. So very warm there for a good 4, 5, 6 day period, depending on the individual runs. Back again towards that low teens range, mid to high 20s widely, touching on the 30-degree range, perhaps. And again, no very hot runs, and hardly a single run getting above sort of 17, 18 degrees at 850 HPA, let alone into the 20s, which is the sort of air mass we saw last week. So yeah, does look likely to be warm, hot, but nothing exceptional. More precipitation on this ECMWF run, but again, there are 50 ensemble members here, so we're expected to see more spikes. So could be some more precipitation around. Again, with these low pressure systems running into the hotter air, we could see some thunderstorms around, but again, we won't know the details of those, perhaps until sort of a couple days out. So we'll have a look at that nearer the time if this sort of pattern does completely verify. So for the time being, it's going to be a bit showery this week, a little bit unsettled, around average, maybe in the cool side for some, maybe on the warm side for some, just depending on how much cloud and precipitation you do get. Towards the end of this working week, into the weekend, it's likely to turn drier and warmer, if not hotter, from the south, and it does look like through this weekend, into the first full week of August, we do go warmer than average, perhaps even hitting heatwave thresholds, so sort of hot conditions, with widely temperatures back into the mid to maybe high 20s for some, and even 30 degrees if we do go with some of these warmer ensemble members. So it does look like pretty decent conditions are coming up. The only unfortunate thing is we don't look likely to be making much up in that rainfall deficit, the drought we do have at the moment in many areas, especially in the south and the east. There will be a sprinkling of rain over the next couple of days. There will be some showers around, maybe some thunderous showers around next week, but nothing substantial at all. We need some persistent frontal rainfall, really, to make a dent in this dry period, but we're not seeing anything like that at the moment. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you do subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.